Hello. Welcome everyone. Hope everyone is having a most Tuesday of Tuesdays. I don't usually stream on Tuesday, but that might change in the future. yeah, because I want to free up my schedule over the weekends. So I think most of my streams are going to shift up a day. But I think that'll work out. For me, it was Tuesday. Yeah, I knew someone would make that reference. But yes, help. Okay, sippy. Oh my goodness. That was weird. Hello. Thank you everyone. Welcome TZ, welcome X, Eps, Blake, Argo, Gospel Chris, Rob. Welcome. Yeah, you just recently found out from the Street Fighter movie. It might be fun to do a watch along of that sometime. I wonder if we can just stream it, or if I just have to like do the thingy where, I just like play a timestamp on my end. Just like a movie night in general, I think would be fun. Oh!
Hi, Spacey.
Hello, Louise. Thank you so much for the 4 months. Oh my gosh. Thank you for your support. Yeah, that movie. But I think it's sweet that the actor who played M. Bison picked that movie to be his final film just because his kids love Street Fighter. Ooh. Oh, they used that quote in Project X Zone. Nice. Oh, let me take another sippy. Yeah, okay. Let me just hop down. So, for those who are new, welcome. I am Spacey Botlatelli. I am a gadgeteer bat and a game developer. And I mostly deal with my forte is with speedy platform games such as Mega Man and Sonic. And of course, I also really like driving games, especially like zippy arcade racing games. So I figured I'd play one today because I am admittedly feeling a bit down lately. So I think that's a good way to cheer me up. Yeah, nothing like getting behind the wheel of a zoomy super fast sports car. Oh, hello, Marty. Welcome. Yeah, I guess I'm just in a point where I'm feeling a bit directionless in terms of like my content, I guess. But I think once my projects get at a point where I can actually start like streaming game dev stuff, then I think I'll be able to find my sweet spot. Nothing lifts the spirits like going over the speed limit. Oh, I agree with that. Oh my gosh, yes. And the weather outside is just like getting at the point where just like getting in my WRX in real life and driving down the back roads is just like so therapeutic because the temperature's perfect and I can like leave the sunroof open and have the wind blowing in. And the leaves are all on the trees and everything. Nice quiet moment of solitude driving in the forest. That's a perfect day for me. But yes, did you know that Capcom made a driving sim? I was a bit surprised too when I first found out about this game. Modellista. So by the creators of Mega Man and Street Fighter. So it's pretty interesting. What's also interesting is that the for the US version, when they localized it in the US, they changed the physics and not for the better. So I'm playing the European version on the PS2. So I have heard that that's a little bit better. My first experience with the game actually was with the US version, so it'll be interesting to see how the handling is different. I wonder why that change took place. I wonder if it was a glitch or if it was like intentional. But either way, I think the game has a really cool art style that still holds up today. You know, it's got kind of like a Jet Set Radio-esque cel-shaded art style. A PAL NTSC thing, I doubt it because when you first launch the game, you have the option to choose your refresh rate. Even if you're playing the PAL version, which I am. It's got an option to do 60 hertz. Oh, welcome, welcome. Hi, Joker. Also, Paige says hi. Yeah, it is weird. Hug the bat. Hug the bat. Hugs. Oh my gosh, Paige has been pretty sweet lately. I mean, we've been standing outside with her, so that's probably why she's been relatively calm. Because she tends to bark her head off if we're not there to keep an eye on her. Lovely hugs, yeah. Alright, let me take another sippy and I see why we shouldn't just hop right in. Yes, that is true, TZ. F-Zero GX for the GameCube, which I do want to play as well someday. On stream. That was developed by Sega. Yeah. I just saw that fact on Twitter the other day too, about how Nintendo was so impressed that they asked Sega for the source code to see how exactly they pulled that off on the GameCube. Oh. It's kind of funny because like the racing game project that I've been working on that has not been announced yet, even though it's got like normal cars in it, it is starting to feel a little bit like an F-Zero game in terms of how it handles, and I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. But like so far stylistically, I don't think there's anything quite like it, so I'm quite looking forward to showing it off sometime. Have an appointment now? Oh, good luck on your appointment, Luis. Alright, hold on a second. I have this device that I like to sling on my back behind my chair. It's like a shiatsu back massager. And it's specifically because my back tends to knot up if I'm working at the computer for a few hours. So I do that to kind of like unknot it. It does the job pretty well. It also has like a heat mode. But alright, yes, let's just hop to it, shall we? Okay, where's the game? Where's the game? Where's my steering wheel? There's my pedal, I think. Okay. There we go. Huzzah! Okay. Language select. English. And yeah, you can change your display mode regardless of the version of the game that you pick. Nice.
Warning!
Warning!
Capcom!
Capcom, how's the volume compared to my voice? Yeah, this game does have a cheesy announcer. You gotta have a cheesy announcer if you make like an arcade/sim racer. Seems okay for now? Awesome. Engine ignition. Drive down the road. Overcome. Yeah, the announcer in this game kind of reminds me of the announcer in Street Fighter Alpha 3. I wonder if it's the same person. Probably not. But you never know. But yeah, it's got like cel-shaded graphics. Like it like years later, it just gives it a unique look, you know? Whoa, what the heck is going on with my model? Okay, it's fine. Oh, I recognize some of the car models, but they look really good in this style. Gonna be playing Minecraft? Oh, awesome! Yeah, it's always nice to chill out with some Minecraft. Here we go! time flow, stream, heartbeats. Initial D, I've heard that I don't need to watch the anime in order to appreciate the games. So, I wish to try that sometime, yeah. I just don't know where to start because there's so many. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that effect. Thankfully, it's only used in the intro.
Auto Modellista!
Auto Modellista! Alright. So, before we do anything, I just want to see how the handling is in this version. So I'm just gonna go into time attack. I like the hill stages. They're really fun. Let's do Rocco Hill. Let's do random. Of course, I am a Subi girl, so I gotta start with a Subi. Let's do... Okay, this is one of the newer ones, the bug-eyed Subis. And then this is like the classic 90s. I'll go with the classic. A few different styles. I'll just do normal. And of course, the classic Spacey Bottlitelli white. Let me lower the volume on my end so I can hear myself talk. Okay, that's better. Auto-tuning. Recommended tuning is automatically performed. I'll just do next.
Keep rocking, baby!
Keep rocking, baby!
Rocco Hill!
Oh, there's so many windy turns here. This might be a little tricky. But I got it. I can do this.
3, 2, 1, go! Time to begin the race!
If you notice, there's the wind effect when you're going really fast. I love that, and like the spiky like skid effect when you're turning really sharply, and the burst when you have like the exhaust pump. Just little touches like that, like. For a driving sim, it's pretty unique because they kind of like anticipate that you'll have like a steering wheel set up in order to have that sort of like tactile feedback that is otherwise absent from the game. But not every player has the money, space, or even just motivation to have like a whole like driving rig for racing games. So it's nice. And it's something that I prefer personally is that you kind of like, you exaggerate certain elements of the game to kind of give that tactile feel while still playing on a controller. So like the effect of like the rushing wind and like the skidding and like another popular one of course is motion blur.
Why are you so mad?
Why are you so what? Rude. It's my first day. Take it easy on me, buddy. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. Yeah, stuff like, also one of my favorite things is like when you're going especially fast or if you're like using like a boost power, it'll increase the field of view. And that makes the road that's closer to the camera feel like it's going way faster. Finish! Awesome. Oh, cool. I'm the only person on the leaderboard. Okay, I'm not. I'm 4th place. Oh, I was the only person driving there. Okay. Do we have enough room for Spacey Bat? I wonder. Kind of interesting how they do like the letter selection this way, so that you can get to the letter you want with less D-pad presses. Spacey Bat. And there's exactly enough spaces for Spacey Bat. Huzzah! Hello, Denari. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I haven't seen Alex in a while. Apparently she's been hanging out offline so that she doesn't run into Tears of the Kingdom spoilers. She said she would be back in a few days. Oh yeah, okay, I think that test was a success. So now we go on to the main mode, which is Garage Life. Tune up our own cars, race them in a variety of courses.
Welcome to the Garage Life mode. Enjoy.
Ah, thank you. Create a new garage, enter a garage name. Let me save first. Oh yeah, Sonic Adventures Disability. I never thought about what to name my own garage. How about... I wonder if there's room for it. Okay, so... Bottotelli Cave. Bottotelli Cave, Bottotelli Motors. I mean, where is it displayed? Is a thing. I'll do Bottotelli Cave. I doubt this is the... What? Are they out of space? Why do they have... Why is the label so long if they only give you that many letters? Well, this isn't the last time that this isn't the only time that I'm going to stream this game. So anyone who misses today, I'm sure they'll be able to catch another one sometime. I'll just name it Bottotelli then. No. I want to remove that. There we go. Bottotelli's fine. Lower the volume a bit? Okay. How's that? Okay, type 1. Samuel. A prefabricated garage. A concrete walled garage. I want to do log house. Because these are kind of a little too industrial for my tastes.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing? He's in the office with me. He's just barking at the living room window. Mighty Cheeto, welcome. Select a car company. Okay, I gotta go with Subi. And yes. So we can start off with our Subi. That's fine. Why? Why does it want me to name my car? It already has a name. Fine. Bark! Yep. Enter license plate number. Only 5? So I can't set my first name. Maybe if I get creative. Or I can do something silly. I'll just do this, I guess. Okay. Yeah, there is quite a bit of flair to this game's art style. Okay, so I want to change the color of my car, for one thing. Dress up! Alright, color. Repaint everything to white. Oh, I could see myself getting lost on the screen for a while. But okay, hood color, mirrors. Let's change the arrow color to classic Spacey Bat purple. Okay, that's good. annoying color? Oh, that's fine. Okay, can we change the color of the tire rims? I don't think so. Yes, oh my gosh, I love Impreza WRXs. And I drive one in real life. I drive a 2015. Well, I would love to have like a classic 90s Impreza WRX. Back then, like prior to 2015, that was the full name, the Impreza WRX, but they just shortened it to the WRX from 2015 onwards. Impreza means party in Polish. I wonder if that's the origin of the name. Oh, stickers! How fun. Create, save, and load stickers. Oh my gosh! You can just straight up, it's a straight up painting program. Oh, I'll toy around with that off stream. I could like recreate my logo in pixel art style. I think that'd be so much fun. Okay, dress up parts. Ooh. Carbon fiber hood, that would be sweet. Mirrors. What? Okay. Oh, I want to keep the mirrors. Oh, hi Alex29. Hi. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. What's the difference? I'll get it. Might as well pick the STI one then. Whoa. Okay. Spoiler. Interesting. So that's the 1999 spoiler. Whoops, wrong button. Guess why this game is called Modellista? That would make sense. Oh yes, finally the wheels. Okay. Do they have pink? Okay, this is faster. Aw, sadly they do not have pink. Not that I can see. No! They have green and orange and blue. What the heck? I think I skipped all these. Oh! Okay, that one's pretty close. Ta-da! Okay, lights. Okay, it just gives it eyelashes. Kind of eyelids. Nah, we're good. Very cool. So let's dress up parts. Nice. Oh, we could do a test run. Yeah, I'm playing on the PS2. But it was also on the GameCube. Back in the day. Yeah, back goes vroom vroom. So we could do a test run, I guess. Well, let's go on a short course.
Check it out!
Check it out! Bato Telemobile is ready.
Osaka Highway.
Oh, it's a highway stage at night. I love these kinds of stages.
3.
I am emulating. That is correct.
1, go! Time to begin the race.
What's going on? Oh, is it in manual? I see. I forgot to switch that over, I guess.
Trouble ahead.
Trouble ahead.
Together.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. return to garage. Answer a few simple questions to have tuning performed automatically. Oh, I see. So we can pick it to we can tune it specifically to handle a specific course really well. That's really cool. I'll just do average. Tune to acceleration or max speed. I'll do average. Grip versus drift. Yeah, wheel controller. This is from my rig papa, KPX Art. It's the ultimate racing wheel. It's available on his Patreon page. And I adjusted the textures to match my model. I'm so happy with it. Let's do average. Where do I change my gear? My gear setting. Tires, brake, suspension, turbine, muffler, computer, engine. Final gear. No. Ugh. That's a lot. I guess it's something that I have to adjust when I go into an actual race. No, I do not want to park this car. I want to race. Let me save real quick. Funky music. Secret. Fulfill conditions to select. Oh, we got a melon. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. Alright, let's race.
Let's play the game!
Yeah, that's another game that Capcom made that utilizes this style of cell shading. Beautiful Joe. The M124, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. We are playing Modellista, which is, Capcom made a driving sim apparently, so we are playing it. It's actually one of my favorites. So, let's just go to Osaka Highway.
New Highway Challenge Cup 1.
There we go, now we can pick automatic transmission. Yeah, Okami is another one. I haven't played that, but I've heard it's a pretty good, like, adventure game, similar to, like, Zelda and how it's laid out.
Osaka Highway.
Let's go! First race.
3, 2, 1, go!
And I love how the car, like, shakes at low speeds. It really gives you, like, a sense of power. Nice. And I feel like the like I'm using a PS4 controller right now, and like whenever I hit a speed bump, I can feel like kind of like a bump in the controller because of the rumble pack. Nice. I think I've already hit my top speed. But it's fine, we're outrunning everybody. Come on! Game audio feels loud compared to the voice. It does, actually. I could probably tweak that. Am I hitting the handbrake or the normal brake? Or is the brakes not just good on this car? Yeah, I love the speed line effect. I think it looks better in the daytime. Like the contrast is a little high at night, but it's okay. Okay. So circle is handbrake. I am hitting the normal brake. Finish! Only one left. Number one. Yeah, it does sound a bit like that announcer. New record. That's the name. Not my name. It's the name of my car. So. Whoops. My butt. Alright, nice. Okay. Yeah, we totally left them in the dust. Next.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
You got a prize!
A new car! Awesome! Engine tune-up level 1. Weight reduction level 1. Castrol retro oil can. I bet that's something we can put in our garage.
You received... You made it!
You made it!
An amazing result!
Oh, this guy's so cheesy. Oh, is there any way to mark all as red? I'll just do this. New car, get. NA is natural aspiration. Don't need to do that. How do I drive fast? What kind of question is that? You're playing a racing game. Yeah, I'm very particular about not having unread messages on my program, so I'm just gonna do all this. What is 4WD? That is four-wheel drive. I know a little bit about cars. Osaka Highway Strategies. Okay, that's pretty cool. DJBX? Welcome. You have a question? Okay. Ask your Freedom Planet related question. Changing cars? No. Using mail. Okay, finally, we have a clean inbox. He takes a beat. Okay, so we got a few upgrades. Okay, weight reduction. Level 1, please. Level 1 engine. It's nice that there's no currency you have to grind. Like, you just unlock stuff and you can use it right away. Balance of response and power. Most effective on a fully tuned car. Okay. I don't know if the brand makes any difference. We've been trying to contact you about Spaceybat's extended warranty. Freedom Planet released in 2014. That is true, it was released in July 21st, 2014. So, coming up is its 9th anniversary. Oh my gosh. Their heavy blades require high pressure in order to boost well. Oh, this is probably fine. Suspension? No. Okay, I did notice that my brakes were pretty weak, so maybe I could switch those over. July's your birth month? Awesome! Yay! Yeah, my birth month is in June. So racing brakes. Polios. And streets and winding roads. So I guess that trick is to just tune the car for whatever course you expect to be in. No, no parking. Change cars. Oh, okay. Just park this car here. Yes, please save my data. Viewer Fox Beast, welcome, welcome. Cool game, cool car. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love this game. Sense of style is immaculate. Alright, now let's try Mazda RX-7. There's a couple different gears, but I'll do this one. First, gotta do white as a base. Enter a name for the new car. And we gotta call it an RX-7. No. Nope. Okay, where are our numbers? Nice. Ba, 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 ba. License plate number, same as before. I wish I could just copy it over from the other cars. Huzzah! Welcome, Force Riot. Yeah, we're winning so far. I just won with a Subaru Impreza WRX, and now I'm switching over to the RX-7 to see how that feels. Okay, mail. How do I drive fast? What kind of question is that? It's a racing game, of course you gotta drive fast. Okay. Alright, let's dress up. How do I breathe? Yeah. Love hearing how other people pronounce the car names. You think Hyundai is the best because it's pronounced differently everywhere? Yeah, at least in the northeastern U.S. we pronounce it Hyundai. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's do the arrows. Let's doll her up. Nah, not the wing. Okay, hood color, body color. Oh, I can't do the side, can I? Okay, new plan. That's a little saturated. Whoops. Up. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I am the knight. Okay, license plate. That's just changing letters, right? Yeah, my real life WRX, I got a vinyl wrap for it that is like really nice. Under most lighting conditions, it appears black, but if you put it in like bright sunlight, it's kind of like a glittery purple. I love it. It wasn't cheap, that's for sure, but I felt like spoiling myself. I think I got that like over a year ago. Okay, body design. Oh, I see. That just adds racing stripes to it. I don't want those. I want part changes. Have I had mods on Minecraft? I've played the 1 block challenge and I really liked that. Oh, I see. Okay. I'll keep the normal one. Trying to figure out what to do with your BRZ wrap-wise. the owner of the vinyl wrap place that I went to, he had like a really nice Porsche, and it had like this like pearly white wrap over it, and it was beautiful. So I would recommend pearly white for a car like that. I mean, you can't go wrong with white or black or like even silver because they're neutral colors, and then you can like dress it up with like pinstriping in a really bold color. I like to do that. It's kind of what I did with my model, really, like my overall design. Primarily black and white, but with like magenta and lavender as accent colors. Okay, so that's normal. Oh, we can put them up there, I guess. It kind of reminds me of Shrek. The Shrek ears. Whoa! That completely changes the look of the car. Yeah, I'm kind of debating whether or not I prefer that or not. I'll keep the normal for now. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I've played a few Need for Speed games back in the day as well. Nice. Okay. The wings. It's just tough for me to mess with the classic look of the RX-7. But let's see what kind of wheels we got. We need some wheels. Okay, where's those pink wheels? I think a small splash of magenta on this dark purple would look amazing. There we go. Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh, so it just completely gets rid of the pop-up lights. Like it looks like blinking eyes. Ooh. Notice me, senpai. Ooh. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it'd be cool if I could do pinstriping, but I guess that's not an option, really. Alright, easy tune-up. I hope this gives us, like, the best parts, like, in terms of, like, any upgrades we've unlocked. Average geared for max speed. And let's go slightly drift. Car's like, no, this me, Spacey. That's what a car VTuber would look like. Yeah, like a VTuber that's kind of looks like they do in the Cars universe. Okay. La la la. All set. No, we do not want to park. We want to race.
Let's play the game!
Let's play the game! Oh, what the heck? Okay. Okay, so we've cleared
Let's play the game!
level 1. But we haven't cleared the other places. Let's go, Suzuka.
Freshman Challenge Cup 1. Check it out.
Check it out. Check it out. Done playing Minecraft? You had a lot of fun? Awesome.
Suzuka Circuit.
Oh, Ferris wheel. Wagon Midnight? I've heard about that. I haven't played. I don't think I've played it.
3, 2.
I think the closest I've come was playing like Tokyo Highway Drift. Ooh.
Race is on.
You've yet to meet a VTuber who's a sentient car? Me either. I haven't met one yet. But there's like a VTuber for everything. Like there are VTubers for inanimate objects. I've heard of like a VTuber that's like a lava lamp, which is pretty cool. And then there's a VTuber that's literally a trash can. And then one of my friends, Kira, she is Well, normally she is a like raptor goddess princess from outer space, but she has like a model that's just like a 3D raptor. But she's so much fun to hang out with. We've collabed a few times with like a group before when we played Super Animal Royale. Oh gosh, big U-turn with a sand pit. I hate those. I have flashbacks to Grand Valley and Gran Turismo, or is it Trial Mountain, the one with the sand pits? Woohoo! Oh my gosh, the wind! It feels really good in the daytime stages. Okay, Grand Valley. Gosh, once I get some engine upgrades where I can like really let loose on these big straightaways, I bet that's gonna feel nice. I'll just take a shortcut through. Oh my gosh, I can't do the same thing that I did in Gran Turismo 1. You just slow to a stop in this game. Finish!
You're number one.
New record. Fine, I'll use the car name. I don't want to type Spacey Bat every time I would get a new record. Okay, do I unlock anything for that?
You got a prize.
Computer tuning, nice.
Nice try.
Oh gosh, they fill up your inbox with so many emails. Yes. Forgot what a Daytona car was called. That would be the Hornet. And funnily enough, Dodge has a car called the Hornet that they just came out with. I don't know if it's completely brand new or if it's been out for a while and I'm just not familiar with Dodge. But I saw a commercial for it the other day. Okay. That is our emails. Okay, tune up. Racing muffler. The brand doesn't matter. Computer chip, there we go. Level 1. Okay, level 1 engine. Okay, so I think it does automatically change, no it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to go and modify these. That's fine. Oh, Gatsumara, thank you so much for the follow, I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, I'm Spacey Batotelli. I'm a gadgeteer bat and a game developer, and I have a passion in particular for fast games. In particular, driving games. But I also like playing speedy platform games such as, you know, like Sonic and Mega Man. Okay. No. Okay, stat. Okay, there's one more race left. I don't know if I should have the RX-7 for it, necessarily, because I think the Subi has better handling for those kinds of mountain courses. So I'll change my car. Okay. No. Okay, here we go. So you just kind of save templates of the cars, but you can pick from any car. Save, please. Hello. Hello. Our Subi is more powerful right now, too. That's surprising. Well, I guess it's not really that surprising. It's one of the reasons I do love me a Subi. Okay, level 1. That's also level 1. Oh, full turbine. Let's try that. Street driving. Wide variety of courses. Okay, I'll do medium. You look so adorable. Ah, thank you, Gats. Thank you. Bye. Alright, let's see. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I think we're ready for the mountain course.
E.
Let's play
Double E's. Completely by coincidence.
Downhill challenge.
Oh, we're going downhill. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Usually I go uphill. But when you're going downhill, it's a lot easier to pick up speed.
Welcome here.
Got a lot of classics here.
3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa! Oh, we're so fast. Let's break. Oh my gosh. I love the mountain hill courses in this game. Come on. This reminds me so much of the back road that I like to go on in real life. There's this back road near my house that takes me down one of the main rivers up here. Why are you so bad? What? I'm in first place, dude. Calm down. Meow, meow. Whoops. Out of the way, back coming through. Back coming through. Come on. But yeah, I love, like, back road driving. It's very therapeutic. And, like, especially as an introvert, that totally finds out. I wish there was an option for these mountain courses to have a second lap just by turning around and going back up. Because they do tend to be over with pretty quickly. Like all the other tracks in the game that have like proper laps, you can like practice them like an infinite number of times if you want. Which it has been pretty good stress release for me at times in the past. Because, you know, I could just go into like the practice mode and just be able to drive for as long as I want without having to go through the menus again.
Congratulations!
So it's good just chatting material.
You got a prize!
Oh, a new car! Right, I have to check the new cars in the car selection menu.
I'm looking forward to your next race!
Thank you, buddy. Well, let me take another speed. I don't know why my throat's so scratchy today. Prefer driving in game than real life? Yeah, drivers can be such barbarians, especially in bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's another reason I like driving on the back roads, is because chances are I'll be the only car on the road. Like, maybe one car goes down that road every, like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 minutes. Oh, the brakes. Yeah, I got the racing brakes. That is good. Okay, we got that. I'm just scouring it for any new parts that we might have gotten. Final gear ratio to increase acceleration. Slightly increase acceleration. the maximum speed. I see. Okay, I'll just pick it normal for now. We don't really need to mess with that when the difficulty is still so low. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, bye Pete. Are you going? Oh, Vera Fox. I'll take another sippy for you. Thank you for the hydrate reminder. Whew. Ah. Nope, do not park. You have a challenge for me? Pretend to rage quit? I think that's something that's pretty tricky for me to do convincingly if I'm not, like, genuine. I don't know, maybe someday if I need to brush up on my acting skills. Akagi Hill is that... Oh, that's downhill as well. I think that'll be fun.
Akagi Downhill Challenge Cup. Keep rocking, baby.
Keep rocking, baby.
Akagi Hill.
Yes, it's fall weather. Absolutely gorgeous.
3, 2.
Yeah, I did genuinely rage quit when I was playing Mega Man and Bass. That was more of because of a technical glitch that made me lose a lot of progress than the actual game itself, though.
Show your stick.
But if we somehow make it to 150 subs, I will play that game again. But as Mega Man, which is like the harder character to play as. No. the guy who's like, oh no. Oh, sorry. Oh no! Go with me. Now that's speed.
Come on.
Woohoo! Oh, yes. And I think it's because like the road is so narrow and the trees are so close to us that it kind of like feels like way faster. Oh no. Oh, yeah, and when you're driving through the leaves on the ground, it's got like little particle effects. I love that. I wish there was kind of like a photo mode in this game, but as far as I can tell, there isn't really, other than like playing the replays and then hoping you get a good camera angle. Yeah. What'd you say? Yeah, his voice kind of gets drowned out by the sound of the engine, which I don't really mind. Because the engine noise is the main attraction for me. Oh, that was close. Oh, he said, oh my. Okay. Oh, that was very close as well. But yeah, finish.
You're
Number one. Forced place. Huzzah. Bats. I think I'm just gonna keep racing. Not mess around with my knees for a while.
You got a prize.
Retro poster, radio stickers.
I'm looking forward to your next race.
Looking forward to your next race. Oh, a rainy street. Oh my goodness. I wonder how badly we're gonna do there. But we'll just do them in order.
Keep rocking, baby.
Huzzah. Hope you'll win new cars. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to check the new cars that I've already won. But I'm just doing so well with the WRX. I'm sure there's like some really fancy supercars we can unlock at some point that would make the harder challenges a lot easier. But for now, we're doing fine enough. Trouble ahead! emulation, it is quite possible to play this in widescreen. But the thing I noticed about that is that like other parts of the game are still like stretched out. But it is pretty fun. And like because of the game's art style, like you can even like increase the resolution like through emulation, and it still looks really cool in that cel shaded style. Oh yeah, I just noticed when I'm driving like on like off-road or on those bumpers, there's these like stress lines on the vehicle's outline. Ah, so many little details. Yeah, like the mountain course is definitely my favorite because of how like narrow the road is and like everything. Just like the sense of speed there is absolutely exhilarating. But it's still fun in other courses too. Yeah, with our upgrades, it takes a lot more to reach top speed now. Whoa, yeah. We go to like a dead stop if we try to do the off-road trick. Ooh, I hear the sound of aircraft overhead in real life. Come on. Oh, this is our first race that has more than one lap. Spirit Cells, thank you so much for the 3 months. Oh my gosh, thank you for your support. Hope you are doing well today. Huh? I'm feeling quite a lot better now that I've been like behind the wheel for an hour or so. Because like I said at the beginning of the stream, I've been in kind of a funk lately where like I feel a bit like directionless in terms of the projects I'm working on, so
Come on!
I'm sure everything will fall into place. I just need to give it time. But gosh, I think once I can finally start doing like dev streams, I think I'll really be in the zone in terms of like the content that I can put out. But for now, I'm having a lot of fun just hanging out with y'all and being a speedy little battle. See noon, you click. Yeah, good choice. Welcome, Unstable Fox. Welcome to the Space Soup Telly channel. I'm playing one of my favorites, an old classic, like a Capcom actually made a driving sim at one point, and this did.
Come on!
Okay, let's remember, I can't do the Gran Turismo cheese once we get up to that sand pit. Oh no! Even just a little bit, you come to a dead stop.
There's the goal!
They really did not want you to drive off-road. Looking forward to your dev streams, thank you.
Finish! You're #1!
Yeah, sometimes creative processes can be a little overwhelming. And it's kind of weird too because like I'm also like suffering from new project syndrome where like the new projects I'm working on are just like so fresh and exciting. And like I want to try all the things, but it can also be a bit overwhelming, yeah.
Congratulations!
Gravel's coated with glue, yeah.
You got a prize!
A new car! Engine tune-up and weight reduction level 2, okay. I will upgrade.
You made it!
You made it!
An amazing result!
Yeah, I agree, Argo. I honestly wish that the original Gran Turismo games were that harsh with driving off-road, because it is a fair trade-off for not being able to take damage. Because like as it is, like as much as I love like the classic Gran Turismo 1 and 2, it's very easy to exploit like the lack of true like penalties for driving off-road and for colliding with things. So you just kind of use that as part of your driving style when you're not supposed to. Okay, we got rate reduction too. Huzzah! And thank you so much for the follow, Unstable Fox. Hope you enjoy your stay. I appreciate it. Okay, level 2 engine. Oh my gosh, we are gonna get the zoomies really, really bad. So many zoomies. Okay. Okay, so this is good for wet weather. Okay, we got that. Alright, I guess we'll give it a shot. I should save again. I will do it the save state way. Alright, final race in level 2. I think. Oh no, we still gotta do Tokyo Area 1.
Challenge Cup 1.
This is gonna be a piece of cake with the engine upgrades. Add this to your GameCube library. Yeah, I originally played the US version on the GameCube. For some reason they changed the physics in the US versions across all platforms. And apparently not for the better. Like, they feel much nicer in the Japanese and PAL versions.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, there's a whole bunch of Zoomies in this race. They got the same idea as me. Oh my gosh. We're so fast! We're so fast we can barely turn at high speed. Oh no! Okay, they're actually keeping up with us. Oh, this track is so pretty. Come on, come on. Nice. I think it just feels like our turning speed is worse because we're driving so much faster with the upgrades. So we're gonna have to really be careful on that rainy track. Woo! Oh my gosh! Yeah, the city lights really enhance the sense of speed on this course. And I like how the muffler like wiggles separately from the vehicle chassis itself. Uh-oh. Is this US tuned to the JP version? This is the European version, which I believe is like basically the Japanese version. But thankfully, regardless of the version you pick, you can pick the refresh rate when you first boot up the game. Hello. Nice. I hear more aircraft above me in real life. I wonder what's going on today. Smash! Smash that follow button and that like button or whatever. Finish! Oh, yeah, that's so close to the ground.
E.
Oh my gosh. That's happened a few times where aircraft would just come down across the street. They would get so low, practically almost touching the tree tops, and my mother and I do not know why they do that. Like, the best we can guess is that maybe it's like some kind of military exercise. But we're not sure.
Congratulations! You got a prize!
Nice.
Nice try!
Alright. Rainy Street.
Rainy Street Challenge Cup.
This is gonna suck.
Keep rocking, baby!
Yeah, there's a couple times where we're like, oh my gosh, they're so low to the ground, and then,
Tokyo area.
but, our next door neighbor, who is also my aunt, is much more familiar, like has lived here for longer, so she's like, ah, it's no problem.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so apparently there is a tunnel on this course where we don't have to worry about the slick roads. But for the rest of it, it's gonna be... Ugh. Okay, it's not too bad so far. I think it's the same track, it's just rainy. Yeah, dry tunnel. And I like how the speed lines only appear when it's dry, because otherwise it would interfere with like the rainy weather effect. Right. Whoa! Okay. Nice. Not nice. Come on. Okay, yeah, I got this. I just have to brake a little harder. Sounds scary. Yeah, it was the first couple times, but I'm used to it by now. Now it's more out of like surprise and curiosity than anything. Yeah, the way that he just nonchalantly, like, with very low enthusiasm says, "Oh my."
Come on, come on!
Come on, come on. Okay, we're good. We're good. We've been very overpowered compared to the competition these past 2 levels. So maybe level 3 will give us the challenge that we seek. Meow, meow.
Yes!
Ta-da!
You're number 1!
Nice. Ba, ba, ba. Alright, we did get anything special?
You got a prize!
We got the 11.
You've received...
I wonder what the garage customization is like for the log cabin. Garage design? Place items in the garage and change design. Add an item. Posters and floor items. Oh, I see. Battery, gas tank, toolbox. Oil cans. A radio. A bucket. Portable air compressor. Oil drain. Oil tank. A full-face helmet. The branded oil cans. Championship plaques. Oh, we don't have a table. Whoops. Are there any tables? There does not seem to be. That's weird. Maybe I need to unlock them first. Okay. Bato doito. Alright, let me change cars. Park this car in storage. Wait, no. We want to choose from the normal list of cars. See what we've unlocked. Yes, storage. Don't need to save yet. So I think we unlocked a few Subarus. Oh my gosh! Oh, it's so cute! Oh my gosh! Only 36 horsepower, oh my gosh! Oh, such a small baby. Oh baby. Baby car. Those are the only Subies in the game? Huh, interesting. Oh, this one's a small baby too. 45 horsepower. But its light body allows speeds up to 155 kilometers per hour. Oh. They're so tiny. Corolla 11. A Trueno. I hear that's a popular car. Nissan. Oh yes, the Skylines. Oh, that one comes in purple as a base color. I always liked that. About the Skylines. Oh my gosh, look at these tiny cars! Ah, so cute! Of course, Honda Civics. Always a popular choice. Okay, nothing has been unlocked here. Any Mitsubishis? I guess this one? Daihatsu. More smalls. More small cars. Suzuki. These are also tiny cars. Well, the proper word is compact. But they're really fun. There's something special to be said about driving a slow car fast compared to driving a fast car fast. There's like a certain like visceral sensation that is not present in faster cars. It just feels like you're going a lot faster at the slower speeds when you're driving a slow car. So I wonder if there's like a special mode where we have to like drive one of those slower cars. Okay, let's just keep racing.
Let's play the game.
Let's play the game. Uphill climb, nice.
Welcome, Hill Climb Challenge.
I love the hill
Check it
climb
out.
challenges. Oh, hello SX, welcome, welcome.
Welcome here.
We're playing some Auto Modellista. Auto Modellista.
3, 2, 1.
What's me?
Show us what you got.
Show us what you got. No! Now we're getting like a higher speed to the point where we gotta focus more on handling. Yes, finally some competition. Come on. Whoa. Sorry, excuse me. Out of the way, I'm a bat.
Come on.
Good so far. I've noticed that the opponent cars don't really have engine sounds. At least none that I can hear compared to the volume of my engine. So it's hard to tell when somebody's like right up on you and like about to pass you. So that's something that the classic Gran Turismo games definitely have an edge up on, is like the positional audio of your opponents. No, almost. Yes! Oh, that was close. Shoot! Yeah, you kind of hear them. I'm just so loud. Yeah. And there are only 2 dials in the game, one for sound, one for music. So not only can you not adjust the volume of opponent cars separately, but you also can't, like, the announcer, the volume of his voice is tied to the music volume for some reason. So there's no separate voice slider. So that's kind of weird.
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
You got a prize.
Computer tuning level 2, let's go!
I'm looking forward to your next race.
Well, thank you. Let me just upgrade our computer. Always want to make sure you hear this dude, yeah. I mean, if you turn the music off, then you won't hear him anymore. But then you don't get to listen to music. Right, so that is the computer chip, level 2. No parking. Yeah, he does sound like the Capcom vs. SNK announcer. I seriously wonder if it's the same voice actor. Akagi Hill Climb. I want to see if there's anything I can tweak to improve my handling for these hill climbs. Alright, let's see. I'd say acceleration for the gearbox. That's fine. Suspension? High stability and excellent grip when cornering. What makes the car difficult to control. Okay, street driving. I'll just stick with medium for suspension. Okay, yeah, that's fine. On streets and winding roads. Okay. Gonna go eat some snacks. Keep it up. Thank you, Viewer Fox. Hope you have a good snack time. Oh, you too, Dinari? Yeah, it is roughly like lunchtime for a lot of people. I definitely am going to have a meal after I've done my racing for today.
Let's play the game!
Let's play the game!
Akagi Hill Climb Challenge Cup. Keep rocking, baby!
Keep rocking, baby. Thanks to me.
Akagi Hill.
This track is so beautiful. Like seriously, still one of my favorite tracks ever in like a more realistic-ish racing game.
Go for it!
Oh! Oh no!
Now that's me! Don't get it!
What? That wasn't very nice of you.
Come on, come on!
I wonder what that beeping is for. Maybe to just let you know you've reached the absolute limit of your current gear. Yeah, I'm glad I tuned for maximum acceleration.
Too slow!
Come on, come on, come on. Out of the way, please. Come on, come on. Go speed. No.
Come on, come on!
So close. I think we got this as long as we don't hit a wall and come to a dead stop.
So close!
Yeah, the sun glare. Let's go!
You're number one!
That was close, but It was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Could use some better handling, yeah. I thought the high acceleration would help with that, but I guess not. Next. Alright, let me
Congratulations!
change my tuning again.
You got a prize!
Ooh, engine tune-up level 2. Aero parts were added to all the cars as well.
You made it!
Yeah, I'll buy that!
An amazing
I love the
result.
way he says that. Okay, tune. Mama. Level 3. That's the same. I think it's the... What did I change last time? Oh, right, gear ratio. Okay, let's bring that back to normal. Nice. Elfie Faye, welcome. Good morning to you as well. So we unlock the aero parts. Dress up. I love how they call it dress up. Rear arrow. Okay, so that's... Original must mean, like, unique to this game. It was made specifically for this game. Sure, why not? Side arrow. Yes, please. That one looks good. Any new hood designs? Not really. Okay, I think that looks nice. Alright, let's get back into the race.
Let's play
Engine level 3, I bet our turning is going to be absolutely horrible now, because we have such a high top speed.
Urban Masters
Oh, so there's 2 races in this cup.
Keep rocking, baby.
Oh my goodness, take sippy.
Tokyo Area 1. Three, two, one, go! Show us what you got. Slow ahead.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're going so fast that now that our turning is just like absolutely abysmal unless we brake. I wonder if there's anything else I can do to increase turn power at these speeds. Maybe if I equip the slick tires?
Come on!
Phew. Feeling good. Yeah, the nice thing about this track is that they have those very long straightaways where we don't really have to worry about braking and turning. That really lets us outshine our opponents if we have the horsepower advantage. Of course, if we don't, then they'll catch up to us more easily in those races. No. You passed the car. I wonder if slipstreaming is a thing in this game. This I'm not certain about. Okay, we're gaining ground. As long as I don't mess up these last few turns, we should have it in the bag.
The final stretch.
Yeah, let's go. Finish.
You're number one.
So now race 2. Points. 10 points to Spacey Bat. Mama. So I assume we have the same opponents as last time, because we're keeping track of points.
Tokyo Area 1.
Same track.
3, 2,
Really?
go!
Or maybe it's the same, but we're going backwards?
Time to begin the race. Show your skill.
Yeah, it is the same track, but we're just going backwards.
Go. You pass the car.
Hello, Mike. Welcome. We're doing some cell-shaded driving today. What are you doing? Turn left.
Smash.
Okay.
Come on.
And I love, like, the faster you're going, like, the more my controller is rumbling. Woo. Oh, I hear him right behind me.
Come on. Why are you so mad?
It's not my fault. I literally could not see the bumper until I was going down the hill. What'd you miss? Well, just some racing in our Subaru Impreza WRX. The classic 90s boxy one, of course. Which I really wish I could drive in real life someday. Maybe someday. It's just very difficult to find the WRX, like one of the older ones that doesn't have like 200,000 miles on it or something.
Come on.
Because Subi owners like drive the heck out of their WRXs. It's kind of funny to think about because the WRX that I've had since the 2014, I've only put like 13,000 miles on it the whole time that I've owned it.
The final stretch.
No! I hit the wall at the last moment. But that's fine. We should still edge out a victory in point advantages. Yep. Welcome, Clockwork Pretzels. Yeah, this game is really neat. It has a really cool art style that kind of reminds me of Jet Set Radio, and I think it's aged very well.
Congratulations!
Like this game was made for the PS2 and GameCube.
You got a prize.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to your next race.
All right, let's just keep going. Oh, I see. There's So it appears that I went ahead of myself and went into level 4. But I guess every cup in level 4 is the same track twice, and the second time's in reverse. Alright, okay, let's do a loop highway.
Highway challenge cut 2. Keep rocking, baby.
A plastic model stream. I think that'd be fun. I haven't really played around with model kits before. My friend Alex is like really into like Gundam plastic models, and the last stream that I was in, she made one. So that would be fun. I did kind of have like a stream kind of like that in the past where I did a Joy-Con swap for my Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. That was really fun. I'd love to do something like that again. Just kind of like put my hand cam on and paint my nails up real nice. Yeah, I like this course too, just because it's no frills. It's just a few 90-degree turns, but other than that, it's just like you can just like go as fast as you need to. Smash!
Why are you so bad?
I'm not bad, I'm in first place. Gundam Classic models are fun. Yeah, I haven't really gotten into Gundam before. But I must admit, Lilac's model in Freedom Planet 2 was a bit inspired by like the Gundam color palette, like, you know, the classic, like white, red, blue, and a little bit of gold.
Come on!
I know, right? The announcer's like, "Why are you so bad?" As I am like almost a quarter lap ahead of everyone. Oh, that was another loud aircraft flying overhead in real life. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if my mic can pick those up. Piece of cake. Gosh, I could go for some cake. What are y'all's favorite cake types? I really like angel food cake with vanilla frosting. I also love Boston cream cake. I think Boston cream cake is definitely like my overall favorite. But like, if I need something that's easy on the stomach, then I'll go for like angel food cake. Vanilla cheesecake? Oh, that sounds good. Marble, yeah. Honey cake? I haven't tried honey cake before. I bet that's fun. You like your cake flavored? Yeah, me too. That cake flavored cake is the best. Bundt cake? I haven't tried bundt cake before either. I can tell I haven't tried it before because I can't even paint a picture in my head of what it looks like. Ah, the car's got the shakies. I love that little detail. Like if you're staying still in this game, then like your car just kind of like shakes with anticipation.
You got a prize!
Oh, finally some shelves.
Nice try!
Oh, you like a cake that you nicknamed the Liver Killer because it has so much chocolate? Oh my gosh, yeah. I tend to prefer dark chocolate. I'm not much of a fan of chocolate frosting, except with Boston cream cake. I generally prefer like vanilla. Lemon layered cake? Oh, I bet that's really good too. I think that's my grandmother's favorite, lemon layered cake. Okay, so we can finally put some shelves up. Okay, triple shelf. Oh, wait. It already has stuff on it. No, I want just a plain old table that I can put my trophies on. That one's got stuff on it. What the heck? I don't want to put my trophies all on the ground. Are you supposed to? Do you not have a choice? Wooden triple shelf. That also has a lot of stuff on it, but I guess it looks a little bit nicer if it's the log cabin aesthetic. There we go. Alright, where are my trophies? Small trophy. It's so weird. Why put it on the ground? There we go.
E.
There we go. Okay. Here's a cheat, have a trophy. There you go. Very Andy, welcome. Also, hi, waifu. Hope y'all are doing well. Oh, okay, we do have a low board shelf. Nice. Okay, so how do get my stuff moved? How do I pick it up? Okay, move. Small trophy. There we go. Give me that. Move this right here, and we just need a computer to complete the look. Yes, I'm sure we'll unlock one at some point, maybe. Oh yeah, in Denmark they did have the midsummer cake that I tried. And they also, they have like that ringed cake that you have during New Year's, that they put little Danish flags on. I thought that was pretty cool. And like every like New Year's Eve, like while people are waiting for the bell to drop there, they play that like that classic like comedy video that I forget the name of. I think it was called Dinner for One, but they play it every year. They play it every year since like the 1920s or something. I don't know. Yeah, you like my new emotes? I love the driving one so much. Oh my gosh, and the barking emotes for Sammy and Paige, and the popping emote for myself. And then of course I had to have the zero. What am I fighting for? Okay, I guess we could do this chair. Wait, is that a chair? I'm going to assume that's a chair. Could do a racing helmet, I guess. In Sweden, every year they play Disney's Christmas special on TV. It's a tradition. Yeah, cute little traditions like that are always fun. Okay, I will put the racing helmet up here. That's fine. Okay, that's fine for now. Every place has its Christmas movie. Yeah, absolutely. Up here in the northeastern U.S., at least, the traditional Christmas movie would be A Christmas Story. But personally, I can't remember. I'm not sure what my favorite Christmas movie is. I would think. Yeah, I'll give it some thought. I know the Jim Carrey Grinch movie is up there in terms of favorites. When this turned Animal Crossing, I know there's no practical reason to decorate the garage. It's just something that you can do just because. I kind of have a soft spot for games that kind of experiment like that. When do we get to Shoryuken in a Mazda? Yeah, I do have a Mazda. I could switch to that and see how the engine upgrades make it feel. Oh yeah, Klaus! I love Klaus. I think that's my new favorite, honestly. Klaus is so good. Oh my gosh, I wish it wasn't a Netflix exclusive. I wish you could just like buy like a DVD of it. It's so good. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen Klaus yet, I highly recommend it. The art style is amazing, and the story is just like a really clever like origin story for a lot of like Christmas traditions with like Santa and everything. It's amazing. Okay. I'm gonna change cars. Whoops. Some garage. Yeah, it is kind of wild that we no longer live in a society that like preserves all of its media in physical form. which is very bad if a streaming service decides to pull it off their platform. It's just like a preservationist nightmare, you know. And I am very passionate about like preserving like games and media. Okay, so let's tune this baby up. Okay, racing muffler, that's fine. Yeah, like A Christmas Story is definitely the one they play in the US because they have 24-hour marathons on certain TV channels of it. But like my personal favorite is definitely Klaus at this point. Ooh, we haven't. Look at the increase in horsepower. We were at 383 before, and now we're at 478. My goodness. Let's put that to normal. Oh, that's fine. Suspension, brakes, tires are probably fine. Oh yeah. Let's see what new dress-up parts we have. This music is distinctly 2000 Capcom. I know, right? Even like the announcer, like we were saying before, like I'm really wondering if it's the same one as Capcom vs SNK. I like the one with the mud flaps, kind of. Can we change the color of that? I assume we can. I kind of like the look of that. Now let's do the Shrek ears. Okay. No, that's fine. Oh yeah, the ooh eyes. Ooh. Oh, this one is even more moy. Whoa. You know what? Screw it. I'll do the ooh eyes. I guess those are just like it's just permanently up even in at the daytime. Okay, cool. Please be gentle on the accelerator, Gushion-sama. Ooh, oh, Sylvie Spirit. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Freedom Planet 2 is your favorite game in 2022? Yeah, absolutely not a problem. We're still working hard on the console versions. And I'm hopeful that we can still get them out by the end of this year. Like, best case scenario is that we can get them out by the end of summer, but we'll see. Okay, what color did I use? Okay, 8, 5, 13. There we go. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh my gosh. She is gorgeous.
Mike Harvey R.
She is
gifted a
beautiful.
tier 1 sub to Sylvis Print. They have given 100.
Thank you for the burger redeem, Burger Man. You know, maybe someday I could get like a bird mascot, and then have the mascot say "wah" for me. But I don't know if I want a bird mascot or if I want a different kind of animal. I'll think about it. Maybe I could have like a doggo mascot that is kind of like basically Paige, but not really. Let me take a sippy. Oh, thank you for hydrate. A little parrot on my shoulder. Nice. Okay. Yeah, Freedom Planet 2 was made in Unity. An older version of Unity, but it checks out. but since the game started development, Unity, I don't think the direction that it's going in is right for my business personally. So all of our projects that are currently in the works are using Godot. Godot is really cool. I love this scene system, like the nodes and scenes. Like everything in the game is a scene, and like you can and those act as like objects that you can place down, and all you have to do is modify the base scene file, and it applies changes to everywhere in the game. It's really cool once you wrap your head around it. But I must admit that Unity is still a very powerful and versatile engine that should work in most cases. And out of the box, you can port to more platforms. Like with Godot, since it's an open source software, you have to port it through like a third party in order to legally get your game onto consoles, but it is possible with Godot. You just have to do like a workaround, essentially. Whoops. I want to race.
Let's play the game.
Yeah, Godot is so fun. I can't wait until I can start doing like actual real dev streams. Like I can start streaming them so I can like show people like the power of Godot. I'm so glad that it's popping off so hard lately. Like with Godot 4 coming out and stuff. Like Godot 4 just came out and they're still like pushing out updates for it. It's not like Unity is more modular in terms of assets and like stuff that you can get on the asset store specifically for your game, but like Godot is like really catching up to it. Yeah, no licensing fees. No licensing fees. That's the other big benefit. Because if we ever, as a company, reach a certain threshold of the income that we make, we have to get a pro license for Unity, and those can cost a lot of money if you have a large team. And there's no reason for it, you know? So hopefully we do not get to that point. But that's kind of sad how we have to hope that we do not pass a certain income threshold. So with Godot, we avoid that problem entirely. Oh, I've been passed. Why are you so bad? Oh my gosh, I love the RX-7 so much. Just like, for me, like my two favorite cars like are the RX-7 and the WRX. RX-7 is more for like the looks and the sound, and the WRX is more for like the touch, for the how it feels to drive. Because I'm not too well versed in like rear wheel drive vehicles. But someday I'd love to try an RX-7. I have a few friends that like are like obsessed with them. Oh really? It is actually the same announcer as Street Fighter Alpha 3? I thought it was. I thought he sounded familiar. I just didn't want to assume that it was the same voice actor until I had like hard confirmation, so thank you. Thank you, Crookman. It sure as heck sounds like him. Yeah, I know, right? And I mean, it is a Capcom game, so I would not be surprised if they just like hired a voice actor they already had on hand who had experience with announcing stuff. Yeah, my RX-7 now is feeling pretty nice. I think it actually has horsepower surpassing the Subi by this point. So it might be good for like tracks other than like the winding roads. And like this car is actually the one that's on the box for Auto Modellista. Well, one of the box arts. And I guess I found myself getting attached to the RX-7 specifically because it was present in so many of my favorite racing games growing up. So it's cool to like see a familiar face out in the real world.
Congratulations! You got a prize!
You got a prize!
Nice try!
Okay, one more. It's the rainy challenge. Oh no.
Rainy Street Challenge Code 2.
Well, the
Check it
handling
out.
wasn't too awful different in the rain from what I could tell, at least with the Subaru. I don't know if it'll be different with a rear-wheel drive car.
Tokyo area.
The composer is the same as Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Nice! As well as a ton of other Capcom fighters. That's really cool.
3, 2, 1.
It's really cool to hear like styles that to hear and see styles that you're familiar with, but in the context of like a completely different type of game. Kind of reminds me of how Square Enix also made a driving sim. I think that was Enthusia Professional Racing. Oh gosh. Come on, I hope please screw the slipstream. Thank you. Yeah, we really gotta be careful in the outburst sections. Oh, yeah, I've seen a few people I follow on Twitch stream this Street Fighter 6 open beta. And the new characters look really cool. Like, I've resigned to the fact that I will never be good at fighting games, at least traditional fighting games, because of my carpal tunnel. Like, the button combinations for the combos just, like, demands too much for me to risk, like, long-term pain. But it's still really fun to watch and spectate. And it's kind of interesting to think about from the context of, like, my games, too, because, like, I'll never be able to play, Carol or Mila, at least, at a high level. Because they require, like, rapid inputs. Carol less so because of, an update we made where you can just hold the button down for her combos. But yeah, I'm never gonna be a good Mila player because of my hands. I think that's something that I'd like to experiment with, if I end up making like a platform game on the side, like a small one. Kind of experiment with, a character who would have just as much of a versatile moveset as a Freedom Planet character, but would, require fewer inputs per second.
You got a prize.
The Galant GTO. Ooh, nice!
I'm looking forward to your next race.
Okay, so I think that's everything in level 3, so we're on to level 4. Okay. Urarako Masters Cup.
Masters Cup.
Ta-da!
Keep rocking, baby.
Yeah, Carol does have turbo now. Oh yeah, I forgot about that for Street Fighter 6. They have a new, like, controller configuration where you can do some of the fancier moves and combos without a button combination. You just, like... It basically maps the character's most effective moves to the face buttons.
2, 1.
From what I hear. That's so cool.
Show us what you got.
And I remember playing a fighting game on the Sega Saturn, that did something similar. They had like an easy mode that let you do special abilities by pressing the face buttons. But unfortunately, in that case, it was confined to the game's easy mode. There wasn't like a separate option to play it on hard, but with that controller setup. But what are you doing?
Now that's me.
Hello? Okay.
I'm looking forward
Oh my
to your
gosh, that was
next
funny.
race. Urarako Masters Cup. Check it out.
He just like, he fishtailed in front of me, and then he just like stopped there and stayed there and blocked me from continuing. Until he reversed and then pulled forward. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like, that kind of controller configuration in fighting games where you can just press face buttons to do flashy things, I think that's really important for like younger players especially who want to do all the fancy moves that their computer opponents are using, but might not understand or like have the dexterity yet to pull them off. I think this is the same opponent lineup too, because the yellow car that messed us up last time is in 3rd place, I think. I don't know, why are you so complaining? Yeah, this is where I messed up. Well, where he messed up. Wait, he's in 1st place now. Did he like... I like to imagine that, like, I know he's just an AI, but like, I like to imagine that like he messed up on that turn and just like rage quit and took me down with him. I might have to pull out the Subi here. Either that or config for max acceleration. Stop saying that! I don't think this is in the cards. Yeah, no, this isn't happening. let me take a sippy. Okay, let me bring out...
I'm looking forward to your next race.
The Max Excel. There we go. That should be good. Do we have the strongest brakes? No, we don't. Okay, that explains a lot. Grand Blue and DNF did the best, honestly. Smashed it 2, 3, and Ken. Oh yeah! I mean, that is another good one. Like, Smash Bros. Was specifically designed to avoid that kind of, like, input problem. To be, like, accessible to beginners. Just by having, like, simple directional input.
Let's play it again!
I think that's really cool.
Una Rocco, Masters Cup.
Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, you got used to the wacky inputs of King of Fighters, and even you will admit that fighting games need a simple mode. Yeah. And like, especially fighting games that have a PC version, I don't see why you couldn't like map specific combos to certain keys on the keyboard.
The race is on.
Well, of course, like translating that into a controller might be a problem. So. Okay, this is much better, having max acceleration. Stop it! Stop! Don't bully the bat. Don't bully the bat. No. Stop! Oh my gosh, yes, these new brakes are saving us. Thank you. No. I think I'm braking maybe a little too hard in some places. I should let up a bit so that I have a chance to overtake him. Oh my gosh, no! No! Fine, I'll take second. Yeah, I switched over to the RX-7. I think I know what I need to do in order to buff my speed. Racing stripes. Everyone else has them. Ba, ba, ba. Whew.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, that sounds really rough, Crunk Man. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with.
3, 2, 1.
No, I want to back out. I'm not too familiar with some of the other fighting games aside from like Street Fighter and Smash
You've received. I'm looking forward to your
and like Marvel vs.
next
Capcom, I guess. Okay, let's see. Dress up. Can we only do stripes? Fine. Alright, let me change the colors. Okay, line color 1. Let us do that. And then... actually, let's do the darker color on the outside. Yeah, something like that, I think. Yeah. Do like a neon pink. Oh no, I like... question mark. Let me just switch, see what the other design looks like. Yeah, I like that better. Took you about 20 years to master the pretzel. And by master, you mean you could get it out like 60% of the time. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing about fighting games for me too, is that sometimes I will understand what exactly I need to do and what move I need to use, but the execution is just off. I'm not able to like pull off the combo.
Let's play the game.
And I think I'm glad that Street Fighter 6 has that simple mode. I think they're catching on to the fact that like with fighting games like becoming like a legitimate contender in the esports scene, the health of the players really matters in terms of being able to like avoid hand pain and stuff. All right, let's try this again.
Check it out.
Rattle Hill.
3, 2.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those like hitbox style controllers, and I also have an arcade fight stick. And I didn't actually get it in order to play a fighting game with it. I got it to play Miss Pac-Man because I really wanted like an arcade style stick. Oh come on! It's the same opponents every time. Excuse me. Why is this so difficult? Ow. Do the racing strips make my car slower? I know that that's the case, but still. No. Stop it! Get out of my way! No! Dang it. Okay, let's try again.
I'm looking forward to your next race.
Oh, let's try the other hillside place.
Keep
Maybe we'll have
rocking,
better
baby.
luck there. Yeah, I could also try the auto tune-up, specifically for the course that I'm struggling with.
3, 2.
I kind of wish that was an option when you pick the race, and not specifically you have to go back to the garage in order to tune it that way. I mean, it is for a time attack, so maybe it is, and I'm just not seeing the option. Oh gosh, the sun, the glare. It's a cool effect, but it can also hinder my ability to see. Stop! Stop smacking my butt. I love the spark effect when you hit another car too. It really feels like it should damage your car, but it doesn't. So, like, I'm glad that there's no vehicle damage in a game like this, but and instead it kind of like portrays like what damage you should be taking by like having like special like spark and sound effects. And I mean, it is a form of damage. It's damaging your current speed. Okay, we're doing good. We just have to not hit a wall. And we hit a wall. But we're fine, we're fine. Alright, come on. Nice. Oh, the brakes are so good on this car. There's the goal! Let's go! Let's go! Huzzah! Ah, finally. Yeah, the other one is definitely harder. Oh yeah, I remember playing a little bit of Tekken back in the day, and Soul Calibur 2. One fast tofu delivery van. Oh, welcome, Lake Rosie. Welcome to the Spacey Batelli channel. I, of course, am Spacey Batelli, and I am a gadgeteer bat and a game developer, and I specialize in speedy platform games such as Sonic and Mega Man, but I also really like driving games. And I'm playing one of my favorites today. It's a classic.
Keep rocking,
A
baby.
classic. Auto Modellista. Yeah, Soul Calibur 2. And I remember, like, they had really cool special guests for each version of the game. GameCube got Link from Zelda, of course. Xbox got Spawn, and
3.
I believe PS2 got Taihachi. But of course, everyone knew that like the GameCube version won out specifically because Link was such a good fighter in that game. Like he was like actually S tier. And just the fact you can play as Link in a fighting game, oh my gosh. Why are they... Oh my gosh, why are they so much faster? Or is it just because we're going downhill now? Oh, we're going uphill now. That might be explain it. It's not that they're going faster, I'm going slower. No! I cannot afford to lose this race or else I'll have to start over from the first one. From the downhill one. Come on, come on. Oh. Please, give me a chance. Yes. Just what I needed. No. come on. No, get out of my way. Oh, that's a rival RX-7. I just noticed. Excuse me. No. A little more clearance, and I would have gotten first, but second should be fine, I think. Question mark. That final straightaway saved us. It's a tie. But does that mean we win because we're the human? No! Really? Wait, is that just second place on the time records? Is a thing. Maybe? Did we still win?
Congratulations!
Let's go!
You got a prize!
Let's go! Engine tune-up level 4. Oh my gosh, yes.
You made it! An amazing result!
From space fat to race fat, she does it all. That's right. Absolutely. I got skills. Okay. Let me install our new engine upgrade. Okay. Oh my gosh, 509 horsepower. Wow. Whoa. Oh my gosh. If I could just like sit in a car like that in real life. Ooh. Okay. Nope. Alright, I will save on the save state. There we go. I'm really liking the RX-7 in this game. Oh my gosh. It is a lot of ponies. Oh my gosh. Let's play the game! Oh, let's go Loop Highway. I really want an easy one this time.
Check it out!
We got a lot of ponies. Let's see them gallop. Oh, your cousin had an S13? Sweet! What color was it?
3, 2, 1, go!
Ring, ring, ring.
Are you ready?
Yeah, that's a good point, Nat. Like, it really does have, like, Sega Dreamcast energy, even though it's a Capcom game made for the PS2 and GameCube. Of course, by this point, Sega was out of the console market, so by being on GameCube, it is kind of like a pseudo Dreamcast game. Oh, I forgot to change out of max acceleration, but I'm sure we'll still be fine. Just have to contend with the annoying beeping. Yeah, I love the Jet Set Radio style cell shading too. I'm just gonna.
Why are you so bad?
I'm just gonna change out my gear ratio real quick.
Your next race.
Because I don't want to go through like a whole 2 races with hearing that beeping. So rude, game. I know, right? Max speed. Let's go. Now we should be cooking for this track.
Let's play the game. Loop Highway Masters Cup. Keep rocking, baby.
Yeah, casually redlining for an entire stretch. Oh, it was red. Awesome.
Osaka Highway.
You also had an EG6 in red? Nice.
3, 2, 1, go!
I remember one time, it was like deep in Freedom Planet 2's development, so I obviously didn't have the money to get it, but there was like a local dealership that had a 90s Impreza WRX in Rally Blue, with a reasonable number of miles, like 100,000, and it already had like stage 3 tuning on it. But if I had bought it, he would have put it back to stage 1 for me. But like, I test drove it like immediately as soon as I saw it on a lot. I pulled in and like, oh my gosh, I have to drive this car. It was so much fun. It felt at high speeds. It felt pretty much just like my 2015 WRX. And of course, at the low speeds, since it had like the tuning, like it had that really rough idle that was like. I love that. Even though obviously it's not good for the car in the long run. But like, gosh, it had so much personality. I wish I would have had the money for it back then. Because it could have been like my winter driver, and I would have been able to keep my 2015 as like a summer car. But right now I just have my 2015 as my year-rounder. Like generally in the past I had the WRX as my summer car, and then I would have like an older like winter rat. Because New York winters can be very brutal on a car, especially if it's an older car that doesn't have rust proofing in it. So generally for the winter, I've always tried to have like a cheaper car that I'm not afraid to lose to winter rust. Yeah, the OST for this is such bangers. Like, it's good to listen to independently of the game, because, like, the main attraction, of course, for me is, like, the engine noise. So because you don't really hear it that loudly. Owning more than one car is the dream, yeah. I mean, like, my secondary car was never, like, good. Because, like, the last time that I had a winter car was, it was like it was a Subaru Outback 2002 that I bought for like $3,000, and it was in terrible shape, but I felt much more comfortable at the time driving that oh my goodness, than driving my 2015 WRX. But now that I've actually driven my WRX in the snow, I feel a lot more comfortable driving it in the winter. I was just really worried about like the low ground clearance and being unable to clear like snow piles. But they keep the roads in pretty good shape during the winter up here, so it's something that I usually don't have to worry about.
Check it out!
Check it out. Can't even imagine having more than one car. Yeah, for a lot of people, it really is unnecessary. But back where I used to live, when I was still living with my father, you needed cars to get around because there was nothing in walking distance. So, like, it always helped to have a backup shared between family members. Just in case, like, you needed to go somewhere and the other family member was at, like, work or whatever. Oh, this feels nice in reverse. Oh, an '87 Corolla, nice. Yeah, my mom used to have a one of those boxy Hondas for like the longest time. And to be honest, having a secondary car really isn't all that is cracked up to be. I just like driving my WRX year round now. And it's definitely like a lot cheaper, because obviously if you want to drive a car you have to have insurance for it, at least in the US. So it's cheaper, and like it makes me feel more connected to my WRX, because like I'm driving it more often, you know? So it's definitely cheaper to just like get like a decent car as a year rounder and make sure that it's rust proofed for like winter weather. Yeah. Like, I personally love driving, but I feel for people who do not love driving and they only drive to live. Because, like, a lot of people are just caught in this vicious loop where they have to get a job, and the job pays for a car, which in itself is an expense. So you're earning money at your job specifically to get to that job in the first place. Because there's no other way to get to it than my car. Yeah, like, not every place in the US is like that. Like, in a lot of, like, in the more condensed city areas, it's not so much of a problem because public transportation is actually good there. But, like, the country is so big, and there's a lot of places that, like, lack that, like, public transportation cushion. So you're pretty much forced to buy a car and pay monthly for insurance and for, pay every few months for inspection and pay for gas.
Yes! You're number one!
Let's go! You have property taxes where you live, so you have to pay just for having a car, and it's per car. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the thing when I lived in Denmark, too. Like, I mean, like, owning a car in a country like Denmark is honestly, like, way more expensive than even in the US because they tax them by weight, because of emissions. But owning a car over there is more of a luxury. Ooh, computer tuning level 3. Nice. But yeah, owning a car over there is more of a luxury because public transportation is so good and the country is so small already that you can pretty much get anywhere by bus, or by train. But yeah, over here, like, you need to drive to live, in a lot of places. So I definitely feel that. And, like, my passion for driving did not come until I was, like, 18 or 19. Like, I was a late bloomer. Like, I skipped out. I was not, like, interested at all in getting a driver's license until, like, my 19th birthday, pretty much. And, like, through most of middle school and high school, like, I actively loathed, like, vehicle traffic in general. And I still do today. Like, I'm much more of, like, a solo driver, just, like, having an open road to drive on. But, you know. Back then, I was, like, this is only cool in video games, not in real life. But no, it's a bit more balanced. Glad you got your license when you were young. You cannot stand not being able to go somewhere. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I could not live in a really nice place like that I do right now. Because living up here with my mother has been very therapeutic. I dare say life-saving. So I'm very thankful that I have a car as good as my WRX, so I can just, like, going back to civilization is like a 40-minute trip, but I do not mind. So I can just pretty much go anywhere. Ah, it's so nice. In Tokyo, you miss a train, you have to wait a whole 5 minutes for the next one. Yeah, it was exactly like that when I lived in Denmark.
Let's play again!
Okay, Rainy Masters, cool.
Masters Cup. Keep rocking, baby.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, and it kind of reminds me also of the last time that I was in, like, Seattle, for example. It's been a long time since I've been up there, but I went up there specifically for because Nintendo invited us to PAX Prime. It's called PAX West now, but back then it was called PAX Prime. They invited us to the Nindies booth, like the first Freedom Planet, and I was just awestruck by the public transportation and everything in that city, at least in the area that we were in, like the touristy area. It felt like stepping like 10, 20 years into the future compared to where I came from. Ouch! I felt that. But it's fine. Seeing other countries and continents is good for your soul. Yeah, I agree so much. Even just like when my last trip was to the West Coast to hang out with Ashley, who is the creator of Title Crash, and my friend Alex. I did that like right after my Undertale playthrough, and it was so therapeutic. Like after being in lockdown for a couple of years, and like not being able to go to any conventions. I still need to basically start over from scratch in terms of getting my foot in the door for conventions. But I'd love to like set up a booth again someday with the team. I don't know what he said, but I'm sure it wasn't good. Because I'm so far behind. What happened? I'm not that far behind, but like, what the heck? I think it was just because of that crash in the beginning. Yeah, let me try again. Big cities kind of have to promote their public transport, because if they don't, it results in constant traffic jams. Oh, yeah, that is a very good point. And like anyone who's like messed around in SimCity could definitely attest to that, especially the later ones where traffic management is actually a significant part of like your city planning. Like that's the reason that like cities generally have pretty good public transportation. And then meanwhile, of course, you have New York City, which is just like wall-to-wall taxis. And I mean, they have a pretty decent subway system, but it still like takes longer than you would think to walk a few blocks. What is going on? Why are these cars so fast compared to the other ones in the highway state? Excuse me. Okay, let's brake now. Whoops. From what a friend in New Jersey told you, every trip on the NYC subway is an adventure. Oh, yes, to put it lightly. I've only been there twice. And both were in my teen years. And both were to meet up with online friends. Which was really cool. So we all kind of went on like a sort of like field trip together, I guess you could say. Where we got to see some of the major sites, like the Museum of Natural History and the Nintendo store, of course. That was really fun. When we went to the Nintendo store, they had like a big TV screen like near the entrance with like a 3D Mario that was being like mocapped by an actor in the back who sounded exactly like Mario, and like people could like ask Mario questions and stuff. And we started asking him a bunch of questions about like online stuff, and he was like, "So you're the people from the internet? I always wondered who they were." And one of my friends asked him how many polygons was in his character model, and he started like whispering and muttering to himself like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he said 3. And then at one point, he started singing the Canadian national anthem. And we were asking him all these weird questions to try and get his actor to like break character and start laughing. Eventually, we did by asking him a really weird question that was basically an inside joke. One of my friends like said like, "What happens when you have undead penguins?" And he was like, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" And she repeated the question, and he's like, "I'm sorry, one more time." And then she repeated it again, and then he let out just like the deepest belly laugh, like, oh.
3, 2.
And he was like, "I don't know, what happens when you have undead penguins?" He thought that it was some kind of like joke that had a punchline, but there was no punchline. She just wanted to say it just to get him to laugh. I wasn't paying attention. Did I get first place? What are you doing? Oh my gosh! He's pushing that guy into, like, the really far side of the wall. Wow, they actually had Chris Pratt there? Yeah, and I got to go on the second floor where they have, like, the museum stuff, and they have that Game Boy that was, like, in, like, a war zone, and it still functions. That was really cool. And then I think the same day after we went to the Nintendo store, we went to the M&M store. They had those, like, giant tubes with the M&Ms in them. There's a lot of fun touristy areas in like the Times Square area. And of course we went to Central Park as well. That's another good place to go if you're ever in New York City. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember that. And yeah, my dad has worked in law enforcement for like 30 years. Actually going on 40 years now, I think. But like, he has really close connections with NYPD. And I remember him telling me a story about how he saved a couple of police motorcycles that were in the World Trade Centers when 9/11 happened. He rescued one of them. Like, both of them were on auction, and they were being bid on by people outside the country. So if they had won the auctions, they would ship them overseas. He managed to save one of them, and that motorcycle is now in a museum in New York City. So that was a really cool story. He tells it better than I do, but like, it was really interesting. Like, I think like a few days before, like, it actually went, like, before, like, 9/11 actually happened, he was on a trip to New York City to see some buddies. And, like, as soon as it happened, he went right back down there and did some stuff to help out. Modellista is Capcom, that is correct. I wasn't paying attention, but we got the bronze cup, so I obviously didn't do very well. Let's give the Masters Cup another shot.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. That's the whole thing about, like, how now everyone says that Hatsune Miku made Minecraft. Who knew that? Like, I actually was originally apprehensive about the Microsoft acquisition.
3, 2,
because generally big corporate acquisitions tend to, like, turn out for the worst, but Microsoft has honestly done amazing with Minecraft. Like, not only with, like, the updates that they've done and, like, the spin-off titles and stuff, but they've made the game, like, continuously, like, relevant to, like, kids of today. And they've, like, really played up, like, the Lego aspect of it in terms of, like, being able to build anything you want and being creative. So I think, like, Microsoft, like, acquiring Minecraft definitely worked out for the best. Because they've done things with it that, like a solo dev, like, wouldn't be able to do. At least not with, like years and years of investment. Okay. I'm trying to read chat at the same time and I keep digging into walls. Really? Really, CPU? They really like to bully me on this course.
I'm looking forward to your next race.
You are you? You're looking forward to me getting thrown around again, aren't you?
Masters Cup. Keep rocking, baby.
Minecraft's biggest issue is the grading performance. Yeah, I can imagine so. Like, it's still, the system requirements still aren't as bad as some, like, modern games, but they're starting to get up there.
2, 1, go!
Oh, see you later, Rob. Minecraft hit at the exact same time that YouTubers became popular? Yeah, that's another good point, too. So it became the game to stream. And like, the Microsoft acquisition came around like right at the perfect time to kind of capitalize on that, I guess. Okay, I'm in first. Ah, okay. Don't panic, don't panic. Just be gentle on these turns. Do not be shy about slamming that brake. Oh gosh, they are right on me. I can tell because of the mini-map. I can't even hear them though. Okay. Alright, forward. Let's go! Ooh, this one took me a while. Whew. Head pat the bot. Thank you, Unstable Fox. Yes, that was definitely like a maximum focus moment. Whew. Oh, my neck hurts after that. Oh my gosh. But it's so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love these uphill downhill courses in this game. It's definitely like the most unique like experience that this game has to offer, I would say. Oh right, it's a 2-part race, isn't it?
Welcome here. 3, 2.
Is it, or did I accidentally choose to replay?
Go for it.
I think we were going downhill first, so yeah. No, please! How do I first? I'm upset. No! I'm sure maybe I can catch up still. I wonder if there's some like subtle rubber banding in place. Come on. Okay. Ouch. Oh no! You said it, buddy. Smash! God! Come on. If I can get second, then maybe I can etch out a point lead. Yes, I passed. No. Come on. Let's go. No!
Thanks for the cool
Thank you, Anne, for the 9 months. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you for your support. It's already been 9 months, oh my goodness. Wait a minute. We got 17 points, we won! Let's go! Woo! Oh. Whew, oh my goodness.
Congratulations, you got a prize.
Thank you!
I'm looking forward to your next race.
So now it's just the rainy one. Yeah, that was really close. Oh my gosh. I think that's a good place to cap it off, honestly. This has been so much fun. And like, I can definitely tell that I'm more comfortable like having like casual conversation while I'm driving. Did you know you could actually get good at Mario Kart 8? I don't know about that. Mario Kart 8 seems more of a party game than a racing game. You just kind of have to embrace the chaos. Embrace the chaos of the item roulette. The music made this a breeze. Yeah, a literal breeze because of the wind effect. All right, let me save and exit. Yeah. Whoops. Thank you. Team Sonic Racing, that might be fun to try sometime. And Sonic Riders. I never could get the hang of Sonic Riders' various systems that it had. So I might need to ask for some help with that to try and like figure out like the best way to approach it. But yeah, I'd love to give that a try sometime. Save complete. Found Mario Kart 8 to be a lot more balanced and skill-based. Definitely compared to like prior Mario Kart games like Mario Kart 7, for example. Because I've heard that it's a little more balanced because there's actual ways to counter the blue shell now, and I don't know about online play specifically, but I'm sure there's like techniques you can do. It's just like you have to learn a lot about how it works, just to etch out like a few more seconds for each course. So it definitely takes some training, but I don't know. I mean, it's not the sort of game that I can take seriously, is what I'll say, is because it's just, if I do, then it's just gonna make me frustrated. So I personally just like approach it the same way that I would a party game, you know, just have fun with friends. Ta-da! That's a part of it, and if you get ahead early, it's easier to stay there. Like get in first early. Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah, it's a tricky balancing act, like to make like a kart racer. If you make it too fair, then there's definitely like a much higher skill ceiling, because once you get in the lead, then you'll be able to stay there a lot. But on the other hand, if you make like the items too powerful, then like it feels like improving yourself will end up being fruitless. So it's definitely a delicate balancing act, and Mario Kart has had decades to kind of perfect that balance. Oh, hello, Cyberspace Knot. Welcome. We're just wrapping up for the day. I will go ahead and save my state real quick, and then I will hop over to the chat screen. Huzzah! So you missed F-Zero, huh? Yeah, me too. Like, here's the thing. Like, I remember reading about an interview that, like, with one of the Nintendo developers about why there wasn't a new F-Zero on Switch, and they said it's because, like, they can't think of something new to do with it. But you have all these remakes of, like, Wii U games and stuff, and the recent, like, Metroid 2 remake and all that, and I don't get it. Like, Nintendo definitely, like, makes really good remakes, so I don't understand why they couldn't just remake F-Zero GX. Just, like, make it an almost straight port to the Switch with, like, HD graphics. People would eat that up so much. Oh my gosh, I know I would. But at least there are some really good, like, F-Zero types on the indie scene. Redout is one that I'm really interested in trying. And what's the name of that other one that was at the last Sage event? Oh yeah, Aero GPX. That's another one that I'm really looking forward to. And then there was also Fast Racing Neo. That was also on the Wii U. Yeah, Star Fox Zero. Like, that was like a classic example of them not wanting to have like a straight like remake of a past game. Like, all Star Fox Zero needed to do in order to like quote unquote succeed was to basically be just like Star Fox 64. But they said nope, don't want to do that. Oh yeah, Wave Race. I should play Wave Race sometime. I kind of want to wait on watercraft racing games until my summer outfit is ready. then it could be kind of like thematically appropriate, you know. But it depends. It depends on when I can get a slot in with my artist and my rig papa. If it's past summer, then maybe I'll just like bite the bullet. Ba, ba, ba. Star Fox and Racers? Is there, you know, like a Star Fox racing game would be pretty sweet, you know. Maybe like have like a new F-Zero game and then like have like Star Fox characters cameo in it. That'd be really cool. But yeah, I definitely have to play like F-Zero GX sometime. It's been so long, I don't even remember how to play it, but I'm sure we will learn together. Star Fox 1 is good. Yeah. Yeah, Star Fox 64. And I really liked the Star Fox 64 remake on the 3DS. See, that is an example. Like the Star Fox 64 remake on the 3DS, that's all they have to do with like a modern Star Fox game, you know? And the modern F-Zero game. It's not so much about like finding a way to like innovate the series or reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's just about like introducing new players who never got to experience those games in the past, because those games are no longer being sold. So just kind of like opening up the series to a whole new generation. And that also kind of like goes into my personal philosophy with game design. It's like my goal is not really to innovate. My goal is to like work with an established concept, kind of put our own spin on it, and like just like do what we do really well, you know. And that's kind of like why not too much is different in Freedom Planet 2 compared to Freedom Planet 1. It's just Freedom Planet 1 but like more polished and refined, and like with the characters mechanics like being more in tune with how people played the first game. Like in the beginning when we first started advertising Freedom Planet 2, I was like oh wait, no, because like there was like a fan that reviewed our game, like a video review that I watched, and like he put it a really good way. Like Freedom Planet 2 is not if Treasure made a Sonic game. Freedom Planet 2 is if Galaxy Trail made a sequel to Freedom Planet. And that really touched me. That was really touching to me in a way that I can't really explain. It's just kind of like another good example I would say is like Platinum with their games. Like they have perfected the third-person action game. Like they have a very specific way of going about it, to where you could just kind of like look at a few seconds of footage of a game that they've made and go like, oh yeah, that's definitely a Platinum game. And I'm so happy with how Freedom Planet 2 has kind of like cemented the Galaxy Trail style of making platform games, you know? You didn't know you worked on that? You found this channel due to the recommended channels feature? Oh, thank you so much, Cyberspace Not. Yes, I am, I'm actually the producer of the Freedom Planet series. Like, the main developer. So thank you so much for playing the game and for your support. And, oh my gosh, the 9th anniversary of this series is coming up in July. I'll have to do something fun for it. I mean, obviously I'll